Hey, it's your man, Doc Love, a.k.a. the Breakup Coach, relationship speaker, and your relationship education advocate, back with the Why Is This So Challenging podcast. Now, first and foremost, we have to thank you for all of your support. Right now, we're just getting so much support from the people out there, and we just want to say thank you because it's been tremendous. We know that we're just starting this thing off. We got a long way to go, and we have so many more podcasts to do. But we just want to thank you so much for just showing up and showing out. And we want you to continue to come back. As we said earlier, we want this to be a family. So we want you to just come back and be a part of our family no matter what. So just keep rocking with us. We're going to keep getting better. And we want you to keep coming back. Now, before we go into our show, I got to introduce my lovely co-host and also my beautiful wife, Miss Lady Love. How you doing today, Lady Love?
Feeling good. How y'all doing out there?
Wonderful. We doing great. So it's just amazing to have you all here. And we just want to dive into this show and just let you know, hey, we're going to keep rocking this relationship information for you. So just keep coming back. All right. We got you.
Yeah. And today, I think one of our topics should be about what we were talking about during lunch.
Cool.
Today. So it was a very, very good topic. And I think we should just dive into it. So as it relates to what we were talking about, Doc Love, today,
okay.
I just want to get your ideas on, let's say, for instance, you're single and you're frustrated at times with relationships. So one day you're very excited about meeting someone, you're 100% ready to date, you're 100% ready for love, but then when the dating scene gets dry, or like people are talking about the dating pool is dirty, or whatever the case may be, and then you get discouraged, then all you're talking about is how these people are no good, the dating pool sucks, you hate it, you don't want to date anymore, you don't care about love anymore. I want to get your input about that, kind of that wavering, one day you're hot, one day you're cold, when it comes to dating, when it comes to deciding whether or not you want companionship, partnership, or love.
Wonderful. To be honest with you, it's one of the big things that we have to combat if we want to have the relationship we desire. And here's the reason why. One of the things we learned, especially in just doing what we do as podcasts, is consistency. And being able to consistently stick to whatever it is that you want, that's so important and it's so critical. A lot of times we have to understand that sometimes it's just a test of whether we're going to stick with it, go through whatever pains or whatever issues that we have to go through in order to get it. Now, I love to use analogies, so I just want to use a few right now to basically say what I'm trying to say. Think about it like this. If we want to have the body we want, what are we going to do? We're going to make sure that we go to the gym. We're going to change our diet. We're going to do these types of things because we understand that if I'm not consistent in going to the gym, I'm not consistent in making sure that I'm doing a correct diet, taking in the right foods, drinking water, getting the rest that I need.
Right.
If I'm not doing these things, then I can't sit here and say, okay, I've done everything I need to do and expect a result. So, for example, we understand that it's bad people out there. It's bad actors, as they would say, guys or girls, no matter how you look at it, that's just not out here for the right reasons. And we can look at it just like we look at McDonald's. A lot of people say it's bad food. And we know there's a McDonald's on every corner.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you have to go to McDonald's. Yeah. You don't have to consume it just because it's out here. You might have to go an extra mile or so for that food that you really want, the healthier food or what have you, but that's your choice. The one thing we know is McDonald's is not holding a gun to our head, making us go out here and eat the food.
Right.
And another thing McDonald's is not doing, no matter how much you think about it, is if you riding by McDonald's with your windows down, they're not tossing hamburgers into your car. So if we ate it, we actually made a conscious choice of eating it. So when you're looking at McDonald's and you're saying to McDonald's, hey, You the reason why I'm big. You the reason for this. McDonald's is like, wait a minute.
Right.
You could keep driving on past. Even if you got in our parking lot, you could have kept going. Even if our menu was in your face, you could have said, I don't want this. And even if you ordered it, you could say, you know what? I don't want to pay for this. And that's the thing. We're making the conscious decision. And on top of that, even if you get the McDonald's, you don't have to eat it.
Right. You spent your money, but you don't have to consume it.
You can give it to your kids if you got kids. You can give it to someone else. Or you can just throw it away. So when you're saying, basically, I'm blaming McDonald's for not having the weight that I want to have or the health level I want to have,
right,
that's not right. And to that end, it's the same with relationship. If you're blaming these bad actors out here for actually being bad actors, they're going to always be bad actors, just like it's going to always be a McDonald's on every corner.
That's right.
But what we do know is we got to make the choice to decide we want to participate in that.
Well, I was looking on social media, scrolling, of course, and there was this post talking about normalizing that women shouldn't be blamed. Now, this specifically was talking about women to men, but women shouldn't be blamed for men mistreating them or presenting themselves in one light, but then turning around and being another way. What would you say to a person who's saying, this person presented themselves to me this way, but over the course of time, I realized, like, either they're a dog, a cheater, or they're emotionally unavailable, or they're just not the person that they pose themselves to me to be. What do you say to that when you're talking about how there's a McDonald's on every corner, which is figuratively talking about there are bad actors, there are bad boyfriends or bad people. I won't say bad people, but there are people who you don't desire to be with on every corner, and you have a choice to make whether or not you're going to get into that relationship, whether you're going to ride that relationship out, or whatever the case may be. For a person that's saying that, what would you say to that?
The first thing I would say, we have to do our own due diligence. The only way that you're going to find out if somebody is a bad actor or not, whether it's a male or female, is time. Giving yourself time gives you the opportunity to allow that person to show you who they really are. So many times we don't want to take the time to find out who this person really is, find out what they really want, and if you all want the same things. The second thing is intention. That's something I coach, that's something I speak.
Right.
When it comes down to it, what is this person's intention with me? And what is my intention with that person? Now, here's a nugget for ladies out there for you to understand, and this is strictly for the ladies. If a man is approaching you, or a man is hopping in your DMs, or whatever it is, every man has an intention on why they're doing that. Now, I break it down to like 3 different things. Number one, his intention can purely be physical. The second thing is his intention can actually be that he's intrigued. He wants to know, okay, everything looks good, everything seems like it's there. Let me find out more. I just don't know enough. Let me get to know her and see what's there. The third step is, man, he sees something that he wants. In his mind, oh, I want her to be my girlfriend. She got everything I'm looking for, or I'm looking at seriousness. I'll never forget, personal story. I met this young lady, and in my mind, this young lady was looking like everything I wanted at the time when I was dating. And so for me, I was like, okay, at the time I'm new and all of this to the city that I was in, and I understood that a lot of times people were going around kind of making it seem like they were serious, but they really weren't. And so my thing was, I couldn't wait to get on the date to let her know, hey, I'm not like these other guys. I'm serious. I'm looking for something, really looking at my future. So I get on the date, and part of it was that when she met me, it was in a very festive environment. So the environment was like, everything was kind of jumping. So I think she took to the fact that I was energized in this environment. What I didn't realize was she wasn't looking for a serious relationship. She wasn't looking for anything serious. She was looking for somebody to have fun with.
Right.
And so when I came and I was acting serious, it was like, whoa.
Who is this?
I don't want all this stuff that you're giving me. So the thing was, my intention with her was, I'm looking for something serious. Her intention with me, so I'm looking for somebody to have some fun with. Go out with, have a good time, laugh, joke, and then I go home. We just didn't have the same intent.
Right.
So the key is understanding, take the time to get to know the person that you're with.
Right.
And on top of that, know what their intentions are. For me, I say this. Like I said, every man has an intention. The lady might not have an intention initially with this man because she's just meeting him.
Right.
But that's where the conversation, getting to know him, getting to understand what it is that he's seeking, that's so important. And that sets up, what is my intent with this man? It may not be the same intent that he has with me.
Right.
And on top of that, for my ladies especially, find out what his intentions are. Don't let him get away with, oh, I don't know, or let's talk about something else, or we'll just let this thing do what it do and see where it go. No.
Right.
No. Know what his intentions are, because then if his intentions are not in alignment with yours, this is not the person you need to continue to see. And so that's really the key to it, is understanding that, give myself time and know what that person's intention is with me, and understand that my intention needs to match his intention. And if it's a guy, hey, her intention needs to match your intention. If y'all have the same intentions, now you can build on the fact that we know we want the same thing. Now, are we acting in that way?
Yeah, because I've heard a lot with a lot of singles that they say, what are your intentions? If you're asking them a question just to see if dating is getting kind of rough and you're seeing that people are kind of struggling. And I've heard a lot of times women say, and men, like, I don't have any intentions. And say, well, what do you want to come from this? Well, I'm just going with the flow. I'm just seeing where it's going. And I remember a speaking engagement, and you were speaking in front of people, and you were telling them that if you don't have an intention, that other person does.
Exactly.
And I thought that was so profound, because I'm like, if you don't have an intention, that person's intention is going to win out.
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah. Right.
Because really, if you're intentionally dating, it's not about games. If you're playing games, you already have played yourself, so to speak. But that just reminded me of about somebody who is always saying, I'm just going with the flow. I'm just seeing where it's going. Now, I can get it. It shouldn't be so much pressure either with dating, where it's like, oh, we have to do it this way. Right. I got to be married by this time. That's putting a lot of pressure on yourself and someone else. Exactly. But I think it's fair to say that it's okay for you to know, I'm dating because I want companionship. Hopefully, companionship that could possibly lead to marriage, versus I'm dating to have fun, or I'm dating to meet people, right, or I'm dating to hook up with somebody. I mean, people got all kind of reasons for why they're dating, but you need to be very clear, I would think, that you know the reason why you're dating or not dating, so that if things are not aligning at that time, then you say, you know what, our intentions aren't the same.
Exactly.
And it also reminds me of, a lot of people don't even notice that I was married, like young. So I have been divorced.
Speak on it. Speak on it. Speak on it.
I got married when I was 19. Very naive, very young. I always knew that I wanted marriage, but I wanted a good marriage.
Right.
And that marriage was not the best marriage. I was married for about a year and a half, and I knew probably a year in that was not the marriage for me. It ended due to infidelity on his part, and I'm not blaming or bashing him. I was 19, he was 23, and I don't make excuses for that, because people can be faithful at 23. I was faithful at 19, so.
Yeah.
But I said that to say there is no bad story that I have to tell. During that time, it was devastating. Who wants to be divorced? Exactly. Period. Nobody gets married to want to get divorced. Right. typically. So it wasn't something that I expected to happen. But in the midst of that marriage, I really didn't know that he was being unfaithful. I came to discover all of this. And then once he was like back up against the wall, he had to admit that, yes, I did cheat and I have cheated, and he had to go ahead and confess all the things. And I won't go into specifics. This is something that happened over 20 some years ago. But at first I did. I blamed him. I blamed him for everything. He was the reason. He destroyed the marriage. He was unfaithful. He was the villain. He was the bad guy. And what I realized probably about 6 months to a year into me grieving the loss of that relationship, because like I said, every relationship, the reason why you feel so horrible and you can't eat and you can't sleep and your mind is just going around and around and around is because there's a loss.
Yes.
So just because there is not a physical loss of the person, there's a loss of that marriage, a loss of the idea of y'all not being together anymore. Yes. And I made the decision to get the divorce because, number one, if I can't trust my mate, I can't be with my mate. We are human beings and we have our own stuff, but I'm not one to be checking up on you and right. What are you doing, when you coming back? And infidelity can bring a lot of those feelings and a lot of those things into your marriage. And I was like, I'm not living like this. I'm not going to be in a marriage where a person is still wanting to have a wife, but then wanting to be out in the streets. Mm-hmm. That just wasn't what I wanted for myself. And I knew I didn't have to accept that. Mm-hmm. So my point in saying all this is I could have spent the next 20 years talking about how horrible of a person he was. Right. I could have been saying he is the reason, I can't stand him, I'm never going to get married again, which I did say that. And then I was like, wait, why should I let one relationship that didn't work, one marriage that didn't work, stop me from having a marriage that I'll be happy for? And then God blessed me with 2 marriages that I'm very grateful for. Mm-hmm. Which, if I would have kept that way of thinking, I would still be bitter and resentful about something that happened in my youth, something that happened when I was a young lady just coming to know myself. And so I truly, truly believe that even though I wasn't unfaithful, there were things that I could learn about myself that could help me in the future. And I did. I realized that from my childhood of walking on eggshells, different things like that, I became very fiery. I could cuss somebody out. And I remember there were times that if I was upset, or this is before even knowing about the infidelity, if I got very upset with him for maybe irresponsibility or what I thought I didn't like, I could have a tongue of knives. And that's not infidelity. Right. However, that is emotional abuse. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, if we really gonna keep it a buck, you have to really look at yourself. It's not to play the blame game even with yourself. It's just to learn about yourself. It's to learn, what could I have done differently? Exactly. Exactly. What people have to understand, and this is for everybody, that's the crux. That's the foundation of what relationship is all about. Relationship is about you learning who you are, what your likes are, what your dislikes are, what your non-negotiables are. Relationship was never intended for you to be devastated, hurt, angered, bitter, regretful, resentful toward anybody. It's about you learning what's best for you. It's about you learning who's best for you. Yeah. It's about you learning yourself, understanding the better I am, the better I'm going to get. The more work I do on me, the more God is going to bless me when it comes to a person that's going to be with me. They're going to put in the same type of work that I put in.
So it's about you learning who you are through these experiences. Something that I talk about all the time, and I won't go into all of it, but there's 3 different ways that you learn relationship.
Right.
One way is you learn by being taught relationship or somebody teaching you relationship. The second way is you learn through observation, what you see. And the third way is your experience. The experience is the way, unfortunately, because I don't think it's the best way that you learn relationship, but it's the way that we mainly learn relationship in this day and time. Oftentimes, we're not taught what we need to know.
Right.
And oftentimes, we're not observing healthy relationships.
Right.
We're not observing it on TV. We're not observing it in the music that we listen to. We're not observing it in the family situations and the family structures and our friend groups. None of that.
Right.
So experience is our teacher. But if experience is going to be your teacher, then learn from it.
Right.
You can't sit up here and go through these situations and not learn what it is you need to learn to elevate yourself for a better relationship the next time. That's the crux of this, because it really, honestly, is about you learning what things you need to know.
Yeah.
And when you learn these things, when you learn about yourself, okay, that doesn't work for me.
Right.
How can I make sure the next time around I learn what I need to learn from what I went through, so I don't repeat this situation again? There was a situation, I'm talking about this in another episode because it's a whole episode, but it was a situation where I got cheated on in a relationship. But when I really did the work, when I really sat down and really did the work, I realized, okay, I can blame her because she actually was the one that was cheating when I wasn't. But I realized, man, I wasn't in the right mind frame to even be in that relationship.
Wow.
And so I had to say, oh man, it was really my fault because I really shouldn't have been in it. I wasn't ready for a relationship. But that's what happens when we think we're ready, but we're not actually ready for what it is that we're asking about.
So how do you know? What are some signs? Because I know this is what people are wanting to know, okay? How do you know you're ready to date after the ending of a relationship? If you could give just a couple of pointers of good ways that you can tell that you're ready to move forward, like what are the signs of that?
I have to use an analogy having to do with sports, because the way I see relationships is just like someone being injured. Let's say if they play football, when you go through a loss or a relationship that doesn't work, it's like a hurt or pain. It's like an injury.
Right.
So the next step is you're going to go through some type of rehab, figuring out, all right, what do we need to work on when it comes to the injury? Let's say it's a knee. Okay, what we have to do, we might have to have surgery, or we may have to just get off the knee altogether. Then once you complete rehab, or what would probably be considered a healing process, then just like it is, a doctor or whomever is going to say, all right, everything looks pretty safe. Now it's time to go through a process of building yourself back up, making sure that knee is okay, making sure that you can move on it and stuff like that. So now we're going through PT, physical therapy, making sure that, okay, we're good. So that might entail testing the knee a little bit.
Right.
Just casually, just getting out there a little bit, see how it feels.
Right.
Then after a while, once you've tested it, it's not swelling on you, things of that nature, then you could be like, okay, now it's time for me to really do the ultimate test. Let me get out on the practice field. Let me get out here and actually go through the motions. Okay, do I trust it? Does it feel good to me? Does it feel strong? Do I feel healthier? And all of that basically is based on how well you rehab the knee, how well that physical therapy went. A lot of times, a lot of people work out because they understand if I build the muscles around the knee stronger or what have you, then it's going to hold up better. All of these steps are an example of what we need to do. Understand that I need to make sure that I make it stronger than what it was so that I feel more confident in it. Let me say this. A lot of times what you'll find is when that person gets out there, they'll ask, so how do you feel about the knee? Oh, 100%. It actually feels better than it felt before.
Right.
I feel stronger. I feel faster. It's not an issue. Then they're going to go out on that field and take a hit. Because see, here's the other part that we don't understand. If we wanted to go out there on our own and do it, or just test it out or whatever, oftentimes we don't have anybody to stop us. So many times we might think we're ready. Mm-hmm. Oh, I think I'm ready to go out there and do my thing. But you're not really ready. And then you go out there on it and you can re-injure that knee.
Right.
You can re-injure yourself, meaning you go into this thing too fast without making sure that you've done everything you can do to make sure that knee is 100%. Oh, you'll re-injure that knee again. And then you really feeling like, is this right for me? Just like some players will feel like, okay, is it really for me? Is this knee going to hold up? So many people retire because I keep re-injuring this. So it's so important, so vital that whatever your healing process is, whatever your, so to speak, rehab process is, you go through that fully. You strengthen everything that you can by studying the information, by doing an analysis of what you went through, and just making sure that you're doing everything that you can to make sure that knee is as strong as it can be, and then test it a little bit. Just because you go out and you meet somebody, that doesn't mean you have to dive into it.
Right.
Just let me see if I'm okay right now. Just how does this feel? And then when you know that you're there, when you know that knee is strong, that's when you should step out there.
Yeah. Relationship rehab is a real thing.
Yes, it is.
It's a real thing, because I feel like when you don't take that time out, if you are a person of prayer or a person of faith, the thing that I've done in the past after a breakup is, let me ask God, what do I need to learn from this situation? It's what you're consuming. That's all we have. Why is this so challenging podcast?
Because we want you to consume good information that's going to help you have the relationship you want. I just had to get that plug.
Yeah, so I mean, like this, but not just our podcast. It's like, we all know that there's a certain thing called an algorithm.
Yes.
On your social media, right?
Oh, yeah.
What is the algorithm? The algorithm is what you are consuming the most. The social media wants to keep you on social media because it makes them money. But guess what? They're not just trying to push any information to you.
Yes.
They're trying to push information that you want to listen to. You feeling it over there?
Feeling that. Because ultimately, you determine what comes to you.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Just like the algorithm, you determine the type of person that comes to you ultimately, because that's on you, the energy that you bring. Sometimes people will say, well, I just keep meeting all these guys that just want to cheat on their wives with me. Or I'm meeting all these guys that just want to be physical with me and nothing else.
Yeah.
That's when we have to start thinking, okay, what is it that I'm thinking? What is it that I'm doing? Or what is it that I'm giving off that's attracting these people? Now, let me say this. We know that there are going to be bad actors that'll come up to anybody.
Right.
But one thing about a bad actor is he's not going to continue to participate in trying to be with you if he knows or she knows, because it can happen the other way, that they can't get their way.
Right.
I'll say it like this. If you got a dog that's roaming your neighborhood and you throw sticks and stones at that dog gonna start to go across the street when he come to your house.
Right.
Because he gonna be like, they throw sticks and stones over there, I don't want to get hit.
Right.
But if that dog come down the street and you decide to pet him, when that dog come down the street, you decide to give him some water. When that dog come down the street and you decide to give him some food, that dog gonna keep coming to your house. So you have to understand that if you are giving off an energy, you're giving off a vibration that says, hey, I want this energy, or I'm cool with this, then that's what's going to happen. And it's not to say that it doesn't happen to you, but you determine whether it continues to happen.
Right. You determine whether or not this person can stay in your life or not be in your life.
Yes.
The issue is not, oh, I met this person that tried to mess up my life, plain version. You meet all kind of people.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You can go to a restaurant, you can go out to the mall, you can go anywhere, and you can meet all kind of people. Mm-hmm. But that person isn't going to break your heart. That person isn't going to devastate you if you talk to them a couple of times and it doesn't work.
Right.
I think the devastation comes when you meet this person, you date this person,
Right.
you may be intimate with this person if he goes that far, and then now you're devastated because you really said, oh, I thought this was the one.
Right.
But there's levels to it, because if this person just totally blindsided you and they were like this horrible person that lied the whole time and not good, and you have to ask yourself, like, how did I not see any of this stuff?
Right.
So it kind of goes back to that thing on social media that I was talking about. And it's like, well, why are women being blamed for men being trash? It could be the other way around. Why are men acting dumbfounded that they didn't know that this woman was a wayward woman, or whatever the case may be? There's a level of responsibility, I believe, that we all have. The same way in my first marriage. Exactly. It's like, well, why did you marry this person that cheated on you? Well, I was naive and young and didn't even consider that he would cheat on me. But what I did learn is that, number one, I should have taken my time. I rushed into that marriage. As a young person, not even fully knowing who I was as a person. And to be honest, I wasn't the nicest. I was nice sometimes, but when I got triggered or when I felt provoked, which is my fault because I couldn't regulate my emotions better the way that I needed to, then I could cut with my tongue. So there were several things that I had to look for within myself to say, okay, Michelle, where was your reasoning? Why were you so quick to get married?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What were you so quick to get married for?
Right.
Despite my mom telling me, like, you need to slow things down. And I just do what I needed to do. And okay, mama. But sometimes people who really, truly love you, they can sense something that you can't sense. Right. So maybe that's the lesson to learn. Right. That this is your life. You don't have to do everything that somebody tells you to do. But if there's someone that you do trust and that you do know that they have your best interests at heart, they may be able to sense and pick up something that you didn't sense and pick up. And so it actually was not very shocking to the people who love me the most that this didn't work out, because they sensed that this wasn't the right person in the first place. So you already know I'm one that don't believe in blame. Right. I don't believe you should blame yourself or blame other people. I think life is an experience. This is information to give you to be the best person that you can be, the best version of yourself. And I don't believe that we stop becoming the best version of ourselves until we leave this earth. Like, that's what I truly believe. So you were talking about consistency, because going back to this conversation we had earlier today, because it was so good. You were talking about consistency as far as knowing what you want, and whether you want to be in a relationship versus you not wanting to be in a relationship. Can you like expound on some of the other things, or another thing that you can think of, that if you are kind of like wavering of whether or not you want to have companionship or don't want to have companionship, can you think of another thing that will help you get more clear?
Of course. One of the biggest things is, we talked about consistency, but one of the biggest things is fear. A lot of times you have people that you could feel real good at some point where, you know, okay, I feel real good. I want to be in this relationship. But all it takes is a couple of conversations, or someone else in our family saying something about a relationship going bad, or something you see on social media, or something you see in the news. Then you like, you know what? I'm happy I ain't in a relationship. And like we were saying, when you waver like that, then it's like, how is that relationship going to work out if you don't understand that it's up to me, I call this faith over fear. You got to have more faith than you have fear of this relationship working out. If you have less faith and have way more fear, then you are already dooming yourself. And as we were saying earlier, if you feel like, oh, it's not going to work out for me, I don't think I can have the relationship I want, I don't think I can attract the person, the man or the woman that I want, then you're right.
Yeah.
Because ultimately it comes down to you, your beliefs and your faith in what it is that you want. Right. If you don't believe that you can have a good relationship or deserve a good relationship, then of course, oftentimes those good relationships are going to elude you. But it's about you having that faith over the fear. We understand fear is real and it happens to everybody, but we have to have more faith than fear. Go back to the analogy of business. Who is going to tell me that it's not a fearful situation to go out on your own and start a business, especially if you're doing it from the ground up? But if I have faith in myself that I can work this, I can do this, even when that business is opened up and maybe we're not getting the crowd we want, or maybe the products are not selling like we want, or maybe the services are not being used and rendered like we want them to be. Maybe we run into a situation where early on in our business, we run into a roadblock. But if we have faith in ourselves, what are we going to do? Go back, reevaluate, and say, all right, what is it that I need to do? Sometimes we got to go back and say, okay, what was my why? What was my why for this?
Good.
Why did I want to do this? Right. Because you're going to get challenged. So you have to ask yourself, what is my why? Is my why strong enough for me to have the relationship I want? If my why do I want this relationship, is not strong enough, then no matter how much you work for it, it's not going to work out for you. So it's understanding, if I know I want this, then I got to make sure that I do everything I can to increase my faith in this happening and reduce my fear of it not happening.
Yeah.
And know that this is my why. This is why I wanted to do it. Just like you want to start that business. Why is it you want this relationship? And this is something you have to get clear on, because if you don't, then you can get confused. So many people, when they enter into a business or go to work out, hey, if you don't know why your why is, and trust me, I've been there. I've been on that bench in the weight room wondering, like, why am I doing this? Why am I killing myself? But my why is I want to be healthy. I want to make sure that my body is in its optimal condition as much as possible, at least in a condition where it can give me everything I want. Yeah. So know what your why is and understand you got to have way more faith in what it is you want than that fear that we all can get entangled in.
Yeah, I like it. So consistency.
Yes.
Faith over fear.
Yes.
Knowing your why. And I'm going to add one more thing. You need to stand 10 toes down.
You must.
I believe that when you're consistent and saying, you know what, I actually do want a relationship, I actually do want to have companionship, and you choose, because it's definitely a choice to have faith over fear. Yeah. And then you understand your why. Now you can be 10 toes down. And when I say 10 toes down, this is what I mean. It means that when you're around friends or family or co-workers and they're talking against relationship, they're talking against, for women, the men, for men, the women, they ain't no good men, or these women, they trash, or whatever people want to say, then you don't agree with that. You change the algorithm of your life. Stop watching all the negative stuff. Right. Stop listening to all the negative stuff when it talks about love. Like, oh, people ain't in love like that anymore. It's a lot of people out here.
Yes.
In love.
Yes.
The only thing that a lot of them, they're not on social media. They out there in life being happy and in love.
Exactly.
And so that's why we have started this podcast, so that we can show examples of what good, healthy, successful marriages look like. I didn't say perfect marriage, because nothing is perfect.
Exactly.
Nothing in life is perfect. Even your own life isn't going to be perfect. But it's your life, and it's your life to live, and it's your life to enjoy, and it's your life to get the most out of it. And so when I say standing 10 toes down, it's like when you at brunch when you at dinner, when you're hanging out with friends, and then they say some wayward stuff, then don't be like, you right about that, girlfriend. There ain't nothing. No, you say, no, there are good men out here. You know, you say no. And then the more you say that, the more you're going to see evidence of that. The more you're going to meet good men. The more you're going to meet good women.
Exactly.
Because that's the life that you bring in by what you believe and what you think and what you say.
Yes.
And so stand 10 toes down. And then the more you stand 10 toes down, now people believe you.
Yes.
They believe you. When you start changing your rhetoric around it, then you don't know how that would shift the things in your life that would give you opportunity to meet a good person.
Yeah, because the thing, like you just said, if you believe that it's not good men, they believe you.
Right.
They believe that you believe that.
Right.
So why would I be a good man if you believe there are no good men?
Right.
So the same is when you start believing, oh, there are good men.
Right.
And I'm going to meet one. And we only need one.
Right. Not 10.
We don't need 10.
Not 5.
We don't need a roster. We don't need a roster.
Yeah.
All you need is one good man.
Right.
But you got to believe it.
Right.
In order for that person to come along to believe that you believe it.
Right.
Because when they know that you believe it, then it's easy for them to love you that way.
Right.
Another thing, going back to what you said, it reminds me of a quote. When you were talking about ladies being together and instead of participating in the chat or what have you, standing 10 toes down. There's a quote that says, what you permit, you promote. So when you permit that type of activity, that type of stuff to be said around you, you're actually promoting it.
Exactly.
So when you stand 10 toes down on what it is that you want, then you're going to get that relationship that you want. Because if you're standing and no matter what comes, the wind can howl, the water can be rushing up, but I'm standing on the truth, on this faith, on my belief that I can have what I want, then it's got to come.
Yeah.
It's got to come. So these are the things that we want to make sure that you understand. We also have this book. It's an ebook that we talk about, and I'm telling you, it will help you to stand 10 toes down, to have that faith, to be able to increase your faith and reduce your fear, because it really all boils down to the questions that we ask. It all boils down to getting the answers that we need. One thing about life is when we ask the right questions, we'll always get the right answers. So we want you to be able to get these questions answered.
Yes, tools. When you have tools, it's always going to be much easier for you to build your life, to build your happiness when you have tools versus if you don't have tools.
Exactly.
And a lot of the reasons why we don't have the success in relationships is because we don't have the proper tools. So these are tools. This is a 21-day interactive journey that you'll go on, asking yourself some very pivotal questions.
Yes.
And you cannot be the same. One thing about knowledge and information is that once you know something, you can't unknow it. Now, you can choose to not follow it.
Yes.
You can choose to ignore it, but you cannot unknow what you know. And so definitely get the relationship reset. It is absolutely phenomenal. We put a lot of energy, a lot of time and effort into this ebook.
Yes.
It is on our website.
Yes.
You can click it. Automatically, it will be downloaded to you, and you can go ahead and start the 21-day relationship reset.
So to that end, we're coming to the end of this podcast. Like we said earlier, we just thank you for your support. We thank you for just being here with us, rocking with us, learning from us, hopefully. And we want you to participate. Give us comments, give us feedback, so we know what it is that you want or the things that you want us to talk about, so we can address these things and just make sure that you get the information that you need. As I said so many times before, it's about you having a consistent and persistent work ethic when it comes to saying, I want to make a change and I want a better relationship. So just stay with us. I'm telling you, we have so many more things we want to talk about, so many deep topics that we're going to get into. And this is what we love to do. We love this. It's our passion. It is something that we are just really happy to be able to come to you and do. So we just thank you for another wonderful episode.
Yes.
And just being with us. Is there anything, Lady Love, you'd like to say? Or
thank y'all for the support.
Yes.
I just want to just say it is just such a blessing. It is such a good feeling to have people who believe in us, who know
Yes.
that this is our heart, this is our mission, this is our ministry.
yes.
And basically upholding love. Love is not dead.
No.
Love in marriage is not dead, and we're just wanting to promote that, and we want to see more healthy marriages and relationships. So thank y'all for the support. Thank you for getting the relationship reset, and thank you for just being a part of our family.
Thank you so much. And again, as I always say, live and love fearlessly. Until the next episode, we'll see you later.